Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of Night of the Nerdy Laser, episode 153. Tonight, we are talking about Arcadian from 2024. It's on Shudder, and it's got Nicolas Cage. I'm your host, as always, Richard Yule.
And I'm, we're hip, we're exciting, watching new stuff, Jeff Lown.
I could have done the thing that those creatures do.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Will we? So we're going to talk about that a little later. I don't know if Jeff has anything to talk about, but I do.
Sure, I'll talk about stuff. And then you could talk about stuff.
Why are you taking the lead?
Because you said Minecraft was stupid, and you are bad at it.
I'm right. I'm not bad at it.
I've
never played it. I've watched it.
At digital Legos.
It just makes me mad. The music, the digging, the everything about it makes me mad.
Oh, then it's not for you. But yeah, I've been playing that a little bit again. It's Prime Day while we're recording. Did you get anything from Prime Day?
No, either. We don't have Prime.
It's really bad sales. They're sales. So stuff I had stuff in my cart just to see what they would do, to see if it would go down in price. So normally say it's $44.99, so $45, and Amazon always sells it for under MSRP because that's their whole gimmick. So it was like $42, and then during the sale, instead of that $42, they just have it as a regular price, and then they're like, "Oh, it's 15% off," which is just $43 or whatever. So it's the same price. They're just putting like big red signs on stuff that say sale now, and that's what a lot of places do, and that drives me nuts to the point where I don't want to shop at them. It's like that's not I mean, technically it's a sale, but it's just the cheapest like form of advertising. You know what I mean? Like it's shady, is what it is.
Well, everything's so fucking expensive now. Nobody can afford to give anybody a deal anymore.
Amazon can, I think.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. Hell, WWE, they are firing on all cylinders right now. They just got bought out by a company. They're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia for one of their PLEs coming up in a few months. And tickets went on sale with the little code,
Yeah.
And so I looked it up, and I mean, the ticket that probably would have been about $200 10 years ago is $750.
That's dumb. Like, I'm not.
That's not even for front row. But so the funniest part about that's not front row. That's not front row.
I mean, people, I'm not. There's everybody like in the spectrum of like income watches wrestling, but I mean, I don't think everybody that watches wrestling is rich. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, they sell them, so they're, as long as people buy them, they have nosebleed seats for $100.
$100.
I mean, that's why I don't go to concerts anymore. Everything's so expensive. I mean, you can't go to a concert for less than $150 anymore.
$150 for a ticket, then you got to park, and that's $50. Then if you want to buy a t-shirt, it's like $50 to $60 for a band's t-shirt,
depending on where you're going.
Everything's a pile of people.
Yeah. It makes me mad. But
me too.
So I looked around, but I didn't see any crazy deals either. So I don't really care. I didn't really need to buy anything from them.
Yeah, I hear you. So what do you want to talk
about? Well, I went to Fanboy Expo this weekend in Knoxville, Tennessee. I worked all weekend, but I was able to go Saturday. It was open till 8. I think I got there about 4 or 4:30. And I met Danny Trejo.
Yeah. Did he say anything about that 4th of July thing that happened to him? Where he got
pushed? No, I didn't ask him or nothing.
No, I wouldn't have asked him either, but I just thought he'd be telling people. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, so Danny was cool. He's very tiny.
I saw
You put
that.
him in your pocket. Yeah, I mean it's kind of incredible about how small he is. Um, but even Danny Trejo, okay, so like to get into the show Saturday, and Fanboy is great. I mean, I do like the con. And this year they had a lot of problems last year, and I mean, seemingly fixed most of them. I had a great experience this year. I had a great experience last year, but I know how to do these things. But
You know how to
on
have a good time.
Saturday, well, you just have. I mean, you can't go to a con on Saturday at 2 o'clock, at like noon or 2, and expect everything to be okay. Like that's when the most people are going to be there.
Yeah.
But people don't think like that. So they're like, why is it so crowded? It's like, because it's Saturday.
You
Um,
could have just said people don't think and leave it at that.
yeah. So the ticket for Saturday was $45 just to get in the door. But if you went after 4, it was $35. So I saved $10. And then an autograph and a picture, a selfie for Danny Trejo is $100. And that's going back to, things are so high now. I'm just saying 4 or 5 years ago, he would not have been $100.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's always been $100, but and that's literally all I did. I mean, that's all I bought. I mean, I had friends there that I met and talked to, and I went to Danny's panel and stuff like that. But I didn't buy anything else.
Yeah. Speaking
So
of
I mean,
him,
that's what.
I just watched Three-Headed Shark Attack with him in it.
Damn it! Why didn't you mention that? I could have talked to him about it.
And he has a machete in it. Timely, because I think that's around the time Machete was out, and he was hacking up the three-headed shark on his fishing boat. And I think it spawned like 2 more heads or something stupid. And those movies are dumb. I just finished the 5th one, so I got to watch the 6th now. They did 2, 3, skipped 4, then went to 5 and 6.
What do you mean skip 4?
They didn't make a 4-headed shark attack. They made 2-headed, 3-headed, 5-headed, 6-headed.
Well, that's so stupid.
It's Asylum. What do you want them to do?
Well, at least count normal.
Well, they didn't do 1-headed shark attack because that's just a movie about any shark.
That's just Shark Attack. That was Shark Attack.
That was Shark Attack, yeah. But yeah, ever since we watched Stupid Under Paris, I've been knocking out a shark movie every day, it seems. So I'll let you know when I get to a good one. But all these Asylum ones really are not paying off.
So the other thing I did was our friend Jason down at the dungeon.
Oh, Jason.
Which we'll talk about in a little bit. He had an extra ticket to this event that was Sunday night. It was C. Thomas Howell, and who was obviously in a lot of things, but the Hitcher, most famously. And so Central Cinema, one of my favorite movie houses, had a deal there where you could see, he would do an intro and then you could watch the movie. And you could buy meet and greet passes too, but I mean, and I could have done that, I guess, but I didn't. And but Jason offered me a ticket; he had an extra one, so I went, and it was fun. It was fun hanging out with him, and I haven't seen the Hitcher in a real. I have actually seen it. Aren't you proud of me?
Good for you, buddy. You made it.
I remember when the Hitcher remake came out. I watched both of them.
Oh, with Sean Bean. I don't think I've seen the full one of that. I mean,
well, I don't know that I've seen the full one of the old one because for some reason I thought that spoilers for a movie that's 40 years old or whatever. But when the girl gets I thought that was the end of the movie, and there's another 20 minutes. So
That's a classic Richard thing where you just think the movie's over and you're like, all right, on with my life, and miss like.
I mean, have I ever told you my Full Metal Jacket story?
Yeah, you told me that one. That one was good. You
Oh
told me
yeah, I
about
don't know
your
if I've
friend that
told it on the
rented
podcast.
Blair Witch, and you guys, or he did, or somebody, you guys watched most of the movie up to the end, basically, and the tape broke.
No, yeah, he did. Yeah, that was him. Yeah, and then he went and rented it at the video. He told them about it. They gave him another copy. He went home and literally, it was like
it's
2
just 2
seconds
minutes.
or less,
That's
and
great.
he was so mad.
That's great. That's pretty good. And go ahead. You're good.
Well, I was just gonna say The Hitcher is a great movie. It's really cool, and C. Thomas Howell was awesome. He talked for probably over an hour. He talked for like a half hour before the movie, and while people were still coming in and stuff. And then he did sort of a live commentary track during the movie, but he didn't do that many. Every now and then he would pop up with like, "Whoa, this is what we did here," and when he did, they were very insightful. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and then he did like a 40-minute Q&A.
That's a good balance. I mean, most of the time, if it's like a funny one and they pop in and stuff like that, that's where I kind of see it. But if it's like insightful at certain parts where you would kind of wonder where it happens, I like that too. But I was going to say the Hitcher just got the pre-orders up for the 4K from Second Sight, which puts out amazing box sets.
And it's one of Orbit DVD's best-selling sets of all time.
Already, wow. And it's not even out. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I should.
Yeah, they pre-sold the most.
I should probably put a pre-order in for that because I still have the Snapcase DVD, the HBO film one or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it was an HBO movie.
It was.
Yeah.
It was the first HBO movie to go to the theater, apparently.
Yeah, and that's why it's up until this point has run into so many issues to get a new release. But that's one that people have wanted for a long time.
So I did well, now I forgot what I was.
You did something. I know you did.
I did it all. I did ask a question during the Q&A.
Were you like, it's real to me? The wrestling guy.
Have you ever seen Obliterated on Netflix?
What is that?
It's a canceled TV show now that they did, and but C. Thomas Howell's in that, and his role is hilarious. But it would be a much better movie, I think. But it's a pretty funny show. It's like 8 episodes, but the premise is basically so this all action elite team. You know, they take down. They're fighting this bad guy, right? And so they take him down.
Yeah.
And you know, their headquarters boss like congratulates them and all this, and so they throw a party and they do fucking cocaine. They're in like sex stuff. They're in Vegas, all right? Hammered. Yeah, I think so. They're all hammered and they like literally get obliterated, and then like they all kind of pass out, and then they the phone rings and they didn't actually get the bad guy. So now they have to go and try to find the bad guy while they're just fucking tweaking and shit.
That's funny. I just saw it.
And C. Thomas Howell's role in that is hilarious. Like, I mean, I'll just say it, but he comes in, he's the bomber guy, right? So they're going to defuse a bomb, and it's ticking down, you know, and his name's Haggerty, and he's just like taking his sweet time doing it, and I think he's naked during that scene, or maybe the scene before. I think maybe I guess it would make sense for him to be naked. It's been a while since I've seen it, but anyway, so he takes his sweet time, and you hear this music, and he's great. And then at some point, yeah, you see all of C. Thomas Howell, but then basically he's just Weekend at Bernie's. He like passes out, and they have to carry him everywhere.
That's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
I saw it's only 8 episodes and it got canceled, huh?
Yeah, I mean, and it's relatively new. I mean, it probably maybe a year ago, but I mean, nobody watched it.
2023.
Nobody talked about it. The creators behind it did something else that's really popular. Cobra Kai, maybe.
Josh Heald was the director. He did Cobra Kai, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they got the show, is because Cobra Kai is such a big success.
I didn't watch any of that either.
Well, it started out on YouTube, Netflix, so
Right.
It's not yours.
Well, they probably
I still have
didn't
to
mind.
watch the last. I have to watch the last season, and then the new season starts. Well, tomorrow.
How many seasons are they on? Is it the last? It's
6.
the last one.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, this is part 1 of the last season.
Okay.
And then part 2 comes out later.
They're doing a Stranger Things last season type thing with it.
Kinda.
Can't wait for that show to be over too. I'm just tired of hearing it. It's like those kids are all 30 now. Like they're not kids anymore.
I'm kind of tired of hearing that, actually, because my brother-in-laws say that all the time, and that's
That they're 30.
It's like, yeah, but what does it matter?
Well, I mean, they're good kid actors, and like that's good. And
but I mean,
like a lot of them
doesn't matter if they're
move on
kids
with
or
their
adults.
careers.
I mean,
I guess it doesn't, but it doesn't. But if they play it like they're kids, still, it's a little weird.
I mean, it's a little weird, but I mean, Ralph Macchio was 24 playing a 14-year-old, so
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
But I mean, I get it, but I mean, I still haven't seen the last season of Stranger Things, so
Me either. I don't. That was one show when it first
I
came
watched
out.
3 episodes, but
I probably did about the same. But the episodes were so long, I was like, I don't want to do this.
they're incredibly long.
It's not as long as like the BBC Sherlock Holmes episodes, because those were like 15 hours an episode, and you're like, I don't even know what's going on. Benedict Cumberbatch, stop it. But yeah, when that first came out, I was like, well, I think this show is going to be kind of cool. And I told my buddy James about it, and he was like, no, you're an idiot. And I was like, okay, fine. Then he watched, he's like, oh my God, it's so good. And then like, it blew up. Like when it came out, it blew up. It changed Netflix. Like I would say it was that popular.
I mean, yeah, 100%.
It kind of pushed Netflix, I think, in the direction where they were, they were probably on the fence about it, where they were like, we need to stop buying up properties or just like using our space for that, and let's focus on our own stuff that we develop. And to try to save money for themselves probably, but use their money. So basically, they're just making their money, not having to pay rights and stuff to other people to stream their stuff. So I think Stranger Things had a big part in that. I just have a gut feeling that they did, because it was so successful. They showed a model that this model of whatever is sustainable, we could make profit from it and all that, and yada yada yada, business talk.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I kind of just jumped in with some other stuff when you were talking. So, I guess Jason down at the dungeon, we talked about him.
Yeah, I was going to mention old Jason. If you are looking for anything cool, well, you might just find it at the dungeon. So if you're in Maryville, Tennessee, or in the Maryville, Tennessee area, it's right outside of Knoxville, you can go to East Broadway, hit the roundabout, look for Southland Books, and then go behind the building, and you will find the dungeon. And there you will find Jason tethered to a chain, selling all his wares, such as vinyl records, laser discs, VHS, DVD, Blu-rays, 4Ks, HD DVD, video games, all sorts of physical media product. He's got old magazines and all sorts of stuff that you will want to look at, and even some horror books, tarot cards, and that kind of thing. He does get Vinegar Syndrome. He does sell all your favorite boutique labels like Vinegar Syndrome, Severin, but more specifically, Terror Vision,
Scream Factory.
and Scream Factory and such. So, if you don't live in the area, don't fret. You can go to Instagram and Facebook, type in Southland_Dungeon, and you will get all the pictures that he posts. And he does a good job about posting new merch that he gets in. And if you see anything you like, you can reach out, contact him, and say you want to buy that. So we love Jason down in the dungeon and the store and physical media. So go support him. And yeah.
Yes. Oh, and I guess this isn't anything to do with Jason, but I guess I should throw it into the top half of the episode. Did you see that the Russo brothers are in talks to return to Marvel to direct Avengers 5 and 6?
I'm sure they are.
Well, so what? They did Marvel's Avengers, then Ultron? Was that the second Avengers?
No, they didn't do those.
Who'd they,
Josh
what'd they
Whedon
do?
did those.
Oh, he did? Why did I
They
not-
did. I think
What
they
did they
did
do?
Civil War, and then they did Infinity War and Endgame.
Oh. Well, I guess, they're probably their most profitable films.
Oh, I mean, yes.
So, and
No,
I
they
know
are.
Marvel's not hurting per se, but I would say they're not where they were at the peak of like phase 1 through 3. So look, that seems not like a panic move to get them in there, but just to try to get back on track.
They did Civil War as well. Yeah, they for sure. Yeah, go back to the well that works, right?
Right. I mean, I don't remember the last Marvel thing I watched, but doesn't matter.
Me neither. I don't really watch Marvel movies.
I'll stick to Batman trade paperbacks that I've been reading.
I
I finished White Knight. Man, that was a good one.
Oh, was it good?
Very good.
Yeah, I need to get a bunch of my my comics together to take on vacation.
Do it.
And read those. All right. Let's talk about this Shudder movie before I fall asleep.
All right. Did you fall asleep watching it? That's the question.
Well, yeah, but that's unfair. Because I came home today and I was doing good, and then I just dozed off for a minute, so it wasn't bad.
You didn't wake up to another movie. Oh, that's on Tubi, not Shudder. Never mind.
Shudder would be weird because it would put like Suspiria or something after it, probably.
Yeah, or some Kids vs. Aliens would be a good one.
Yeah, some weird shit. Like, what the fuck is this?
So I looked it up. This is Arcadian from 2024.
Oh, good research.
Yeah, directed by Benjamin Brewer. So the only other thing I've seen from him was called The Trust, which was like a heist movie with Nicolas Cage and Elijah Wood. I remember it being okay, but Alex Brewer and him, so I'm assuming a sibling, directed that one together with them. But so that was kind of interesting. But yeah, this was 2024. Like I said, stars Nick Cage. I mean, he's the draw here. We didn't get enough of him in the movie, I don't think, but that's fine.
Yeah, I think it's a little. I mean,
misleading.
It is funny. It's a little misleading, but it's fine.
Yeah, we get twins, played by Jaden Martell and Maxwell Jenkins, and then there's a fairly small cast of other people included that have bit parts. But let's talk about them. I told you when I texted you I had a few minor issues with it. But we'll get to that towards the end. To me, this movie had a feel, like I said, of Stakeland and A Quiet Place. It felt
I've not seen Quiet Place, obviously, because I don't watch movies. And but I mean, I could see like where that compare. I know about The Quiet Place, so I could see where the comparisons would be drawn.
Yeah, and that with Stakeland, where like the older guys kind of teaching the kids to survive and
Yeah,
all that, and a girl shows up, and the kid falls in love with the girl, and
fucks everything up.
yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of what I thought. What did you think about it? What are some of your thoughts on some of the stuff? Then we kind of overall it.
I think the opening is really cool. The opening is basically a young Nicolas Cage running through this scene of carnage, and a war is obviously going on, but you don't really see much. And then he makes it to his kids. We don't know about the mother, and then it flash forwards 15 years later. So it's a dystopian kind of thing. You don't know much about what happened. There's no lore or story. So if you're looking for that, you're not going to find it here. I think the movie suffers from just not feeling like a complete story.
Yeah,
There's
it's a
just
little
something
shallow.
missing. Yeah, there's just something missing from it that just doesn't make me feel like I watched an actual movie. It's like I watched episode 4 and never, or even, I mean, really, it's like watching like Empire Strikes Back, but never having the 4 or 6. So,
Yeah.
I think that's an issue. I think the Jaden kid was excellent, and I loved his character.
Which
I
one was that?
liked
The girlfriend one, or the one that's more like
No, he's the
scientific
smart.
approach? The
Yeah,
smart
he's
one.
the
Okay.
smart one. So that's what I liked about it, right? The one you would think would be the badass tough guy is not.
Yeah.
The smart guy is kind of the hero of the movie. I think the creature designs are cool.
When you could
We
see
won't.
them.
I mean, I think you see enough of them.
Kind of. So that's one of
I
my
think
big
you see
like,
enough of them.
gripes. Like at times, this movie was so dark that I had a hard time seeing what was going on.
I mean,
And
that's
I
true
get
too.
it,
Yeah.
it kind of plays into it, like at certain times, like they're outside and they're lighting the lighter and stuff like that in the cave.
Mhm.
And I think it has to be dark, but at the same time, like the descent was in a cave, and I could kind of see what was going on during that. And at times, I was like, it is just way too dark for some of these shots. I mean, that's either to hide like budgetary things or just was shot dark and let them play with the CGI to create the monsters and stuff. But that was my main problem with it. The creature design isn't awful. It felt almost like a raptor from Jurassic Park
like
at times.
like an ostrich raptor.
Yeah, like a weird little thing. Yeah. But I mean, it was fine. And then, like I said, the other thing I kind of had an issue with was we don't get enough Nicolas Cage. Like, I see Nicolas Cage. I want Nicolas Cage to drive that movie.
You do get a lot of them at the beginning, but then he basically kind of just lays on a couch. No spoilers, but But yeah, if you're looking for like wacky Nicolas Cage or anything like that, you ain't gonna find it here.
Yeah.
It's not enough. I agree, but it's also not really his movie.
Right. That's the thing. I don't fault it too much for that. I was just hoping for more.
I wonder what the original script is like, and like if getting Nicolas Cage cut out any dialogue of the father,
Yeah.
or if this was what the script was always supposed to be.
And maybe it was, a fairly simple, quick shoot because he was, it's 2024. He also just had another movie come out, Long Legs, that was.
I mean, hell, it kind of makes me scared. It's like when Bruce Willis was just shitting out movies forever, and then they're like, "Oh, he doesn't know who he is now."
And I think Nicolas Cage owed a lot of money, and he said, I think in an interview, he picked up all these like straight to DVD or streaming movies to pay off his bills and his debt, and he did that doing these. We got a few fun ones through it too. That's the thing. But I don't.
Mandy.
I think that was more towards the end. But yeah, Mandy was the Color Out of Space was one that came out around the time of that. But no, I mean, he just, and he's a good actor. That's the good thing. That's the thing with Nicolas Cage. He could turn it on and be an amazing actor whenever he wants to be. He's really good in this. I have like no issues with him. It felt just like a dad teaching you how to drive a car when he was teaching him how to drive that.
Yeah, it was funny. And he was like, yeah. Have you seen the video on TikTok where the dad's in the passenger seat and the kid's driving and he's like, there's a traffic light and there's a cop in front.
Oh,
and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And he's like, Jesus Christ, what were you doing?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And he stops like 6 inches before the cop car.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I felt like that. I remember learning to drive, just getting yelled at. So
I imagine I would love to see you and your dad go on a trip together now.
it would take like 2 seconds and we'd be fine about something. It doesn't take much. Anytime we get in my car, he's like, I would have turned that way. I would have. I'm like, well, we could have just took your car and you could have drove. Like, it's mine. We're doing it.
I actually don't even have to be here if you want to drive yourself there. So
I'll get out and walk home. You just take the car.
Oh, that's funny.
It's calmed down a little. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, this is on Shudder, so I mean, I think it's well worth the watch. I mean, if you have Shudder, I don't think it's worth getting Shudder, but Shudder has enough things that if you wanted to see this movie, see what it's all about, and you could watch Late Night with the Devil, you could get a free trial for 7 days or pay for a month, and
it's like $6, $7. It's not.
Yeah, but you may want to wait till Violent Nature of Violence, or whatever fuck that's called, comes out.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I mean, it's got a lot of stuff. I have a decent sized backlog on there that I want to watch of their originals, because they do pick up a lot of like festival things, and I think that's kind of cool. And instead of buying a $17 Blu-ray with nothing on it, I'd rather just pay $7 a month and be able to watch these things. And a lot of it goes fairly quick from festival to Shudder, which is kind of nice, because like
this did.
Suitable Flesh did. For the most part, they've had some pretty decent sized stuff. I watched that Sacrifice game, that one I told you I thought Corey liked. He's like, it was okay.
Oh,
and I was like, that's what Corey thought was okay.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. So I mean, they got that. They got a lot of good. They have like curated stuff on there. They got lists, which I kind of like, because
they got Joe Bob.
Yeah, Joe Bob. Yeah, I haven't really watched too much of his in a while, but like, I don't know if I'm burnt out with him or just the format or what, but it's fine. It's whatever. And when I do watch them, I typically, get some form of enjoyment out of it. So $7 a month, or like Richard said, the trial, you give it a shot and watch this and a couple other things.
Well, but if you do the trial, you're going to do it, and then you're going to forget to cancel it, and then you're going to pay the month, but you're going to pay for a year probably.
I mean, I think if you do that, you get a discount if you pay a year up front. So like $50 for a year of streaming, you can't really beat that. Plus, if you're a horror fan,
and they for sure have enough that you could watch to get your money's worth.
Yeah, they got some good TV series. I was rewatching through who was it? Candle Cove is the first season. What's the stupid show?
No, I know what you're talking about, but it's an anthology show.
Yeah. That's like 4 seasons. Each of them are based on like creepypastas. First one was Candle Cove, and man, I loved that one so much the first time I saw it. Second one, I was a little hesitant with because it wasn't Candle Cove, but I really enjoyed that. The third season was decent, and The Dream Door, I think it was called, or something like that. And
Channel Zero,
yeah, the sci-fi show. But yeah, that, and then the fourth one I never finished, so I've kind of been going back through that. They got a bunch of good documentaries on there for horror. They have like a Sharksploitation one, The Exorcist,
Eli Roth's History of Horror.
Yeah, they got Leap of Faith, which is like a William Friedkin documentary on Exorcist, and some other stuff on there. So I mean, like we're saying, it's a pretty good service if you're a fan of the genre. So
100% of the time when I type in Shudder, like if I'm trying to look something up or tell you or Corey about something on there, it always comes out shitter. I
I thought you were
always hit
gonna.
the I instead of the U.
I thought you were gonna say that you always pull up that 2008 movie with Joshua Jackson in it, Shudder with T's and not D's.
Oh, I mean, now there's a magazine called Shudder that's not affiliated with the channel, as far as I know.
They were just like, we'll just go ahead and do this.
Well, it's different formats, right? Like it's why Avatar couldn't be The Last Airbender as a movie. They didn't have the rights to it.
Yeah.
They only had the rights to the TV show.
It's a comic book manga also, is that right or no?
What, Avatar?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh. It's a Nickelodeon.
I mean, it was a Nickelodeon show, and then Netflix has the live action already come out, I guess.
I think so.
And then it was a terrible M. Night movie, apparently.
That's the one I haven't seen of his.
I haven't seen that or the Will Smith one.
Which one?
After Earth? Didn't he do that one?
Oh, with his son, right?
Yeah.
With his kid. Yeah. Anyway,
so
Arcadian, I would say give it a watch if you got access to it. If not,
I think it bothers me that we don't know why this movie is called Arcadian.
Yeah, and we were talking about that. I guess I could have checked for any trivia stuff. Let me do that real quick. What are we doing next week? We're doing Abigail. We're doing Abigail.
Oh yeah, Abigail, because it's coming out on Peacock this week, right?
Yeah, it comes out Friday the 19th, I think it is.
Yeah, in 2 days. So yeah, we'll do Abigail. So if you got Peacock, watch Abigail and then listen to us talk about it.
Doesn't say anything about it at all. But RLJE Films collaborated with Nicolas Cage on Mandy, Color Out of Space, Dog Eat Dog, Pay the Ghost, Prisoners of a Ghostland, and Sympathy for the Devil. So I've seen most of those. Pay the Ghost was decent. Prisoners of a Ghostland was very weird. I think I did that with Corey for something.
Is that when the collar is on his neck or his balls or something?
Yeah. That was a strange movie, but it was good enough.
Yeah, they must have. He probably signed some sort of contract, to do some movies with them. So that's cool.
Yeah.
They probably paid him like a lump sum or something like that, and in order to help that debt.
Yeah.
He named his kid Kal-El.
Is that the like goth kid?
I don't know, but but Kal-El is Superman, so
yeah, that's funny. That's one thing I wish we would have got.
Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Yeah, it would have been a sight.
Well, they did it in Flash, but apparently Nicolas Cage is pissed about it.
Really?
Yeah, because apparently he did 2 seconds worth of whatever. They're like, hey, will you come in and do this? He's like, okay. And he did it. And then he's in way more than he actually did.
Really? So they just
yeah, because they just super glued his face over something else. I mean, so that's not really cool, but no. I still haven't seen that Flash movie.
Me either. Everybody's like, oh, Michael Keaton's back. Yeah. Don't care. I mean, I do care, but I don't care enough that after you guys said all that, I'm not going to go rush it.
I mean, I don't care that much about Beetlejuice, so
yeah,
maybe I'll start to care, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's another one. I always find it kind of weird when something has 30 years between sequels.
More than that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, where could they find us?
And Alec Baldwin got acquitted. They dismissed the trial.
Yeah.
Speaking of Beetlejuice,
that too. As
But it'll go to civil, and those people will get some money.
Probably.
Still sucks.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, they can go to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Type in Night of the Nerdy Laser, and you will find us. And you can follow us on all of those things. I try to download or upload all of the videos to YouTube. I've been a little behind the past 2 weeks, so I'll try to get that done. But yeah, if you hit subscribe over on YouTube, follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, all that stuff really helps, and it doesn't cost you anything to do it. You can always leave a review on any of those sites. That helps out, and you can email nightofthenerdylaser@gmail.com.
Yes, you can.
And yeah, that's it. We'll be back next week with Abigail. Thank you for listening, and we really appreciate the people that do. And spread the word if you like us, and if you don't, well, I guess stop listening.
So, no, keep listening, even if you don't like us.
Until next time, what should they do, Jeffrey?
Keep it bloody.
Because somebody has to.